to Coffee and Comfort with Performers Hub.
Yummy.
So let's talk about perfection.
Oh, that's a nasty subject. Why did you bring that one up?
Well, actually, it's in a context.
Okay.
Perfection or mastery?
Yes, that's better.
Yes.
I like that.
Well, the thing is, in life, we all, as artists and performers, we're always striving for perfection.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
end goal.
being the best at what we do.
Exactly. But this idea of perfection, now Lisa Nichols, she said, perfection is an illusion that always leaves us feeling inadequate.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because perfection itself, from our standpoint at least, not from from our standpoint, depends on not just us and our input, but every circumstance lining up perfectly. And yes, it's wonderful when you have those golden moments where it all just happens, like the gymnasts who suddenly have to have a perfect 10 for their team to win, and they achieve the perfect 10. And so often when that's happened and it's all just gone perfectly, people don't even remember it.
Yeah.
It's like they disappeared.
Yeah,
They
it's like
there.
they leave their bodies and
Well, they're
you
so,
do it.
or they're so deeply focused
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
the ego steps aside, and that part of them that remembers it happening forgets.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they think, did I do that?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
amazing, isn't
yeah.
it? And I was just thinking too that what was perfection, like these gymnasts who got scores of 10, then, we're
back
talking
when
a
the
long
80s,
time
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
it's not the same now.
Oh,
They
it's
wouldn't
crazy
get that
isn't it?
now.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, it's all different. It's the attainment of standard has got higher and higher and higher.
Absolutely.
It's like technology. It changes all the time. So reaching for perfection as such is, as you say, it can be an empty space at the end of it because we're not actually ever getting there.
Well, it's always moving.
It's
Yeah,
always moving all the
goalpost.
time. But mastery is a different thing altogether, isn't it?
It is indeed. I mean, mastery, I think, is the quest for perfection and the ability to adapt to circumstances.
Well, there's that whole thing of, the 10,000 hours that someone...
For mastery.
For mastery of any one thing.
Yeah, but that 10,000 hours needs to be a state of continual growth.
Yes.
And learning and expansion and focused work. But mastery is so many things. Mastery is being able to handle different circumstances, but also being able to handle ourselves.
Yeah.
It's being able to get ourselves out of the way. Or overcome difficult situations, or feeling unwell, or feeling just out of sorts, but still
Tired.
tired, still being able to deliver a really top-notch performance.
Yep.
And whilst it may not be what we'd call perfection, it will be pretty close. It will be, and also remembering that to an audience, what I think really reaches an audience, what certainly reaches me, is someone's open-hearted, honest, vulnerable giving.
Yes.
Being them. And I think sometimes if someone, I've seen performers who seem to be, perfect, but it's like they're withholding their soul a little bit, or their heart, and you can't connect with them.
Yeah.
And it's less moving than maybe someone who might appear to be technically flawed, but it's just so
giving,
inside it, so deeply inside what they're doing, that they carry you on their journey, and that's
exactly.
so wonderful.
Well, who was it? Pavarotti said he found that he could sing effortlessly and easily for 5% of the time.
5%.
And 95% of the time he was working
hard graft.
It was his mastery
Yeah.
that always got him through. So that it was only that 5%. That's very little when you think of the lifetime of someone like Pavarotti or any of those wonderful singers.
And I think, do you think that the digital age, I think in a way, especially with all of us really, it does us a bit of a disservice, because it creates a false sense of perfection. Like digital recordings, they fix them, they tweak them,
they can do so many things with them.
And sometimes they produce them to the point where you wonder if there are humans involved.
Yes.
But I think it can make people feel like they'll never reach that standard.
Well, can you imagine, you're making all these recordings, etc., and then you go and do a live show and people are hearing you live.
Yeah, but even
in
in
the
live
raw
shows, I think
they can still play around with it. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
They've had special digital boards and everything that they can put special effects on and do all that sort of stuff. And of course, then they've got backing groups
Yeah.
and all sorts of things. Now the concerts are huge
Yeah,
these
massive.
days, aren't they?
Massive.
Yeah.
But I would say don't get put off by
No,
that.
no.
Because in the end, it's your truth. It's your truth that will reach people,
Yeah.
and your honesty, and you're going to grow, and we are going to grow,
Yeah.
and maybe if we still keep striving for mastery
Mm.
rather than the elusive goal of perfection.
Yeah, and never forget about where you are at the moment. And where you are is good enough at the moment.
No, it's perfect.
It's perfect. It's perfect
perfect.
where you are at the moment. That's your mastery at the moment, and then you're going to go a bit further, and then a bit further, and then a bit further. So,
Well, it's so true. I mean,
you
have
know-
you ever learned something that's been really, really hard, and there's an end goal, and you just think, oh, I don't know if I'll ever
never
get
get
it.
there,
I'll never
yeah.
get it. And then you do the performance, and then a year later you go back and think, why was that ever hard?
Yeah,
Why was
yeah,
that
exactly,
hard?
yeah.
Because you've grown so far beyond it. And,
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just growth. I suppose mastery is growth too, really. It's
It
just
is,
allowing
yeah.
ourselves to grow and make mistakes along the way.
Yeah, that
We hate
is
the
a
mistakes,
huge
but-
part of mastery,
Well,
isn't
if
it?
you're not making mistakes, you're not
You're not growing.
You're not stretching yourself, I reckon, because it's important. Even babies, how many times did they fall on their bums
Yeah,
before they actually learn to walk?
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, and if they never got up on their feet and fell on their bum, then
And
I
got
suppose
up
they could
again.
wait. They could say, "I'll
Mm.
wait till I'm 10, and I know I can walk."
Yeah,
But also circumstances. Like I said, you may be perfect, but something may
thank
go
you.
wrong. Yeah. Something may go wrong, like dust flying down your throat in the middle
yeah.
of a
Oh,
song.
that happened to me. Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah.
It closed my cords up, and I could hardly talk,
Mm.
let alone anything else. Thank goodness Kate was there
Well, you were
with
there.
me, and able to help carry me through. I was able to get off for a while, and then get back on. Recovered, but. That moment, there was nothing I could do.
No.
No mastery could get past that
No,
one.
well, yes, maybe
You know,
that's...
yeah. But I still had to go off stage, get myself ready to come back on again, and there was mastery in
Yes,
that.
yes.
Knowing what to do,
Yes.
how to cope with it, what to do next, and then coming back on and delivering. That was all part of it. Sorry, I interrupted
Not
you.
at all.
Really.
No, that was right. Perfect.
Oh, perfect.
Masterful. So yes, maybe we would encourage you to be kind to yourself again. I know Louise Hay, when she first did public speaking, she
Yes.
came off stage and she wrote about it, how she immediately gave her a mental pat on the back and said, "Well done, Louise, that was great for your first time. You got out there and you did your job, and well done, and I'm proud of you, and fantastic." And then, of course, she was able to step back
Step
and say,
back.
"Well, next time I could do this better, or I could do that better."
Yeah.
And I always say to my students, what did you do right first? Because they'll always
They
they'll
go
always
for
be
the
grief-stricken over the one note or the two notes that didn't go right,
Yes.
or the word they forgot, and if they kept going, then they had mastery in their
Yeah.
field.
Yes.
And I always remind them that they probably sang about 100 or 200 notes right.
Yes.
One,
That's what
200.
they forget.
Yeah, and they
You know.
do. They forget it.
Yeah.
So
well, we've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
We've all done
and
that.
and it's amazing how our mind will just want
Yeah.
to ruminate over
yeah.
that one thing.
Well, I remember having to sing Maria in West Side Story. I was Tony in West Side Story many moons ago. And Dobbs Franks telling me, because I messed up the B flat one afternoon, I think it was, a matinee. I was trying it because I wasn't really comfortable singing that 8 times a week,
Yeah.
because I'm baritone really. So anyway, I sang it and cracked a bit, just a bit, and got back on the note again. But of course, that was the thing that played in my mind. I'm going to Dobbs. "Oh no, that was terrible." And he said, What are you talking about? The performance was lovely. That you sang it beautifully, and you've got tonight, you've got tomorrow, you've got about another 100 performances to go to get it right.
So true. It's so true.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, it's about delivering your best every time, and that's all that matters. You know.
And I think you can trust that the audience will get what they need to get out of the performance.
I think so.
That they will have the joy or the sadness or the tragedy and the trauma or whatever it is that
Yeah.
they need to receive. If you're allowing yourself to be a vehicle for the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for joining us with Coffee and Comfort. Well, I hope you got something out of that. We certainly love our chats together with you, and I hope you can join us together again at Performers Hub for Coffee and Comfort.
Bye for now.
Bye.